So there's a few things that you have to do by hand. The first thing is going to be data cleaning. Second thing is going to be data dictionaries. That's on the homework. Hopefully those two are clear. The next thing you're going to do is they want you to do two things. They want you to do stuff by Excel, which I'm going to have you do at your desk, and they want you to do stuff by hand. Yeah. All right, so stuff to do by hand. I'm going to make up three scores. Let's say I have scores on an exam. And I have 100, and I have a 50, and I have 25. This is a column of data. Let's make out one more grade on this. Let's give someone a 0. Right? It happens. So if you have these 4 scores, I don't know how your high school teachers did it. I don't know how they did it at the prep school if you went to the prep school, but a lot of teachers like to give you the average. We actually in statistics call that the mean, the sample mean. So that's just add them up, divide by 4. Who's got a calculator in front of them? Take out a calculator and grab it and just give me the mean. $43.75. All right. What would you think if you saw that mean and that's the only information that you were given? Yeah, that the average score is failing. So you're using that number as a representation of what happened in the class. Now, good thing I wasn't sitting in the class with some statistics knowledge, because the next thing I would ask is I'd ask some other questions. The first thing I would ask is, what was the standard deviation? I'm going to give you the formula today. I have given the formula. I'm going to quickly crunch the standard deviation for you on Excel. And the fact that I do this, I work on real problems all the time, is to tell you that this is something that's really important, because I've done it to work on real problems. So the standard deviation turns out to be 42.67. And what that tells me is there's a huge spread. I can think of that like a score on an exam. It tells me the kind of the degree of spread across those grades. Now, if that standard deviation had turned out to be something like 1, it means that almost all the data was close to the mean. This is very far away from 1. It's huge. It tells me that there was a huge variation. It's a measurement of variation. There's a huge variation inside that data. That's what that tells me. Another number that I tend to give is the median. So what is the median? Do you guys learn this?
Add up all the numbers. Put all the numbers on
Here, right? And so I just go to the middle. There's 4 numbers here. So I'm going to take these 2 and just average those 2, and that's going to give me a feeling for the median. It's not really the way we do things, but let me just do that. I'm going to take 50. 37. Okay, 37 and a half. Median equals 37.5. What that tells me is half the class did above that and half the class did below that. I always like to give medians in my classes at civilian colleges, because medians tell you right where the benchmark middle is. And so it's a different measurement. These 2 are pretty close to each other. What other information do you think would be helpful for someone to see if they just needed a few numbers to explain this list? Mode? No. Min and max. The range. The grades range from 0 to 100. That to me would be like, wow. Min would be 0 and max would be 100. So you need your calculators tomorrow. You need to be able to do all this by hand, right? You awake today? Barely?
You give us the formula for standard deviation.
Yes, I'll give you the formula for standard deviation. You'll see, I want to take apart that formula and show it to you, but there's some things I shouldn't do because tasks, we have a quiz tomorrow, we have homework due, and we just need the formula. So I'm just going to give that to you against my wishes. I'm just going to give it to you and ask you to crunch through things, just because we don't have time. I would love to sit there and take it apart and show you why it works the way it does and what it is on a distribution. You'll get it in 206. I'm going to put aside my own desires and focus on tasks. All right. Is there anything else that you had to do by hand that you remember, Gavin? That it was these things, right? Just find the average, find.
There's like functions in Excel for you.
Yeah, I'm going to show you that. Right? You're one keystroke will give it all to you. All right. So, okay.